everybody. We are going to have a lesson today on honeybees. We're going to use this book from National Geographic by Jill Esbaum to help us learn more about honeybees. Here's a beautiful picture of a honeybee. Very pretty. There's gorgeous pictures throughout this whole book. Okay, so we're going to explore some facts. Look, a honeybee buzzing through a warm afternoon. A little worker bee dips into colorful flowers again and again and again. Did you know that a honeybee visits hundreds of flowers a day, tasting each one with its feet? From each flower, they collect a sweet liquid called nectar. They sift the runny nectar through their straw-like tongue and store it in a special just for honey tummy. Their tongue is called a proboscis or proboscis. Flower pollen dusts the bee like golden snow. Every once in a while, she stops, rolls the pollen into balls, and stuffs these into tiny sacs on her back leg. Isn't that awesome? Honey, I'm home. When the bee is so heavy with nectar and pollen, she can barely fly. Wow! She heads home to the hive. Thousands of other workers are arriving home too. A beehive is where they live. Inside the hive, the air hums with excitement. Bees bustle to and fro. The whole colony works together for its queen. As long as she is safe and healthy, so is the hive. Worker bees bring her food and carry out her waste. They fan their wings to keep the hives cool. Amazing. One of the most important jobs in the hive is caring for the queen's many eggs. A hive is made up of many honeycombs. Through spring and summer, she lays up to 2,000 eggs per day. She wiggles her abdomen down into a honeycomb and drops each egg into its own six-celled wall. What do y'all think? A six-celled wall. What shape would that be? Does anybody remember our shape for April? 6 sides, a hexagon. If you look really close there, you can see the shapes of each one of these is a hexagon. Cool. An egg shell melts away and hello larva. That's a chubby baby. But the chubby baby looks nothing like a bee yet. For 3 days the larva is fed a milky mush called royal jelly. Then it is switched to a honey pollen mixture called bee bread. Each larva weaves a cocoon inside its body. Inside its body keeps growing and changing, kind of like a butterfly. Looky there. Isn't that neat? Neat facts. Crawl. Finally, a honeybee opens its cocoon and climbs out of its cozy cell. Ta-da! Honeybees keep their hives clean and neat, so the newbie's first job is to clean her room. So, if a bee can clean its room, surely you can help keep yours clean right now. Help out Mom, keep that room clean, boys and girls. Help out Dad, Grandma. That's right. Hives can be found in unusual places. Many honeybees live in human-made hives. A beekeeper opens a hive to remove part of the sticky golden honey. Yum! You have to wear protective gear if you're a beekeeper so that you do not get stung by the bees. That's what he's wearing. Bye-bye, Buzzy. Hope you find a lot of lovely flowers. These are pretty flowers. It's Dana's favorite. So, there's plenty of work to do in a beehive. In a honey beehive, every worker does each of these jobs in order, moving from one to the next every few days during her 6 weeks of life. So they live 6 weeks. Worker bees are always female bees. They clean out the cells, they feed the queen and larvae, they build and repair the honeycomb, they make honey from nectar, they guard the hive entrance, and they fly out to collect nectar. That's their jobs. Isn't that interesting? Have you ever seen a bee on a flower? If you haven't, why don't you watch it next time? Now keep a safe distance, but kind of watch that bee and see if you can see it collecting nectar from that flower. That would be kind of neat to watch. Okay? Each beehive only has one queen. There's not more than one. So, that's interesting too. Bees make honey from flower nectar. They store it in the topmost cells of their honeycomb, and they eat both honey and pollen. Do you have any honey in your home? Do you like honey? Why? What does it taste like? Is it sweet? Is it sour to you? It's a little sweet. In one day, a worker bee brings home enough nectar to make only a tiny bit of honey, but a hive might have 50,000 or more bees. Working together, they can make as much as 2 pounds of honey in a day. That's enough to fill 2 honey canning jars. This is a beekeeper there, right above a beehive that he has. Isn't that cool? He's going to collect that honey. So, interesting. When bees fly from flower to flower, tiny grains of pollen stick to their feet, then get dropped off on another flower. That's called pollination, and it's what helps flowers make more flowers. Bees pollinate many food crops too. Without bees, we couldn't have things like apples and blueberries and cherries, cucumbers, strawberries, or watermelons, some of my favorite fruits and vegetables we couldn't have. Bees are very important to flowers. They help pollinate flowers like daisy and marigolds, and they seem to like the color blue. You might also plant any of these fruits or berries mentioned above, as well as broccoli, pumpkins, and tomatoes, and bees will help keep them going strong. Isn't that interesting? Very cool. We learned about that a little bit, about bees being important in that way. So, alright, let's look at this maze right here. Help the honeybee find its way back to the hive. If you need to pause, you can do this and trace it with your finger. Alright. Did you find your way through the maze? I hope you did. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed our lesson today in our book on honeybees. See if you have any honey at home. If you've never tasted honey, ask Mom if you could taste some honey. See if you like it.